go into the 4th of July weekend next weekend, it may be even hotter than what we're seeing
Okay.
right now. Hit 90 degrees yesterday, so
Sure.
that makes it our 7th 90-degree day of 2026. We're about to add a few more. We got to get through a stormy weekend at times, though. It doesn't look like a washout. Not every single person sees rain, but I will say a good chunk of us do see rain later this afternoon into the evening, and then even into tomorrow morning, we could see a few scattered showers and storms. 77, very mild and muggy, 77 in Knoxville, 73 Danridge to Barberville at 73 as well. Sticky to tropical. This map will be very common. This oranges to purple through the day today and really over the next 7+ days. We'll be showing that a lot. Through the morning hours, confident that most, if not all of us, stay dry for the next 5 or 6 hours. So morning activities look good to go. I'd say the exception would maybe be in parts of Kentucky. Could still see a few lingering showers, but it's once we get past the lunchtime hour, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, notice Kentucky and north of I-40, few stronger storms possible. Frequent lightning, gusty winds, and even a localized flooding threat, because look at what happens. These drift off towards the east-southeast and then more develop behind it. That's what we call training storms, where maybe your location sees several storms over and over a short period. That would lead to some flooding concerns. Eventually, the system starts drifting to the south, which means still mainly largely along and north of I-40, but a few areas south of I-40 could definitely pick up a few showers and storms. I think it's mainly closer to sundown and beyond. Notice even past midnight, this is 4 o'clock Sunday morning, still mainly along and north of the I-40 corridor, and I think that's where the strongest flooding threat would be. The strongest storms as well, but the greatest flooding threat. Strongest storms do look to stay mainly to our west. This is where a very low level 1 risk for tornadoes does exist. This is using our shear rate. Kind of just splotchy, stronger rotating storms is what this is showing. Some moderate rotation, which could lead to a very brief and weak spin-up tornado. Probably just 1 or 2 in Middle Tennessee. That does include, the risk at least, does include the plateau, but I'd say a damaging wind threat, level 1 out of 5 for all of us would be the slightly, and I mean slightly, larger threat. An even slightly larger threat would be flooding. Level 1 or level 2 out of 4 risk, a medium risk for flash flooding, does exist area-wide. Still a relatively low risk, but 2, 3, 4 inches can be ruled out in a few locations where we've seen some of those training storms through the evening hours. And I think through the evening and overnight hours, about half of us or so see rain, especially Knoxville area points to the north, stays very mild, very muggy overnight as well. Upper 80s for most of us, both today and tomorrow, but kind of on the northeast side of this high pressure or heat dome just to our south and west. That's why we still have the storm chances through the weekend. But by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, notice this drifting up towards the north. That sinking air kind of suppresses any sort of storm opportunities. The moisture is still going to be there, but we don't have as much rising motion, which means it's going to still be very, very steamy. Temperatures just continue to increase. So temperatures, it's typical summer, Austin, but with how high the moisture levels are, we're talking about heat index values, the dangerous criteria, 105 plus.
Hot, hot.